The game I'll be reviewing this week is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now, this game took me over 100 hours to complete. It was one of the best visually stunning games that I've played in 2024. It follows Cloud Strife on his journey with the eco terrorist group Avalanche, trying to basically save their planet from the evil company Shinra, who wants to harvest all of the energy of the planet to use to power their industrial needs and basically destroy the world. So I'm going to dive into that. Let's see what it looks like. Welcome to the world of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the highly anticipated sequel to the acclaimed Final Fantasy VII Remake. Developed and published by Square Enix, this action-packed RPG takes players on an unforgettable journey through the iconic world of Gaia. In Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, players step into the shoes of Cloud Strife, a former soldier turned mercenary, as he leads the eco-terrorist group Avalanche in their fight against the oppressive Shinra Corporation. The game seamlessly blends real-time action with strategic RPG elements, offering a dynamic combat experience unlike any other. Visually, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a masterpiece. From the bustling streets of Midgar to the lush forests of the Forgotten Capital, every location is brought to life with breathtaking detail and artistry. The character designs are equally impressive, capturing the essence of each iconic character while adding new depth and complexity to their personalities. Set in a world threatened by the impending doom of Meteor, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth follows Cloud and his companions on a quest to save the planet from destruction. As they traverse diverse landscapes and encounter memorable characters, they must confront their own past in the looming shadow of Sephiroth, a legendary soldier with nefarious intentions. With its expansive world, engaging combat, and rich storytelling, Final Fantasy VII offers hours of gameplay that will keep players coming back for more. Whether you're exploring hidden dungeons, mastering new abilities, or uncovering the secrets of Gaia, there's always something new to discover in this epic adventure. In conclusion, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a triumph of storytelling, gameplay, and artistic vision. With its captivating storyline, immersive world, and unforgettable characters, it's a must play for fans of the series and newcomers alike. So grab your Buster Sword and prepare for an adventure like no other in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. All right, so now that you've seen the game, let's go over my thoughts on it. Now, as far as the storyline, I always appreciate a good Final Fantasy game. They always take you on a good journey. There's a lot of different things to learn and discover along the path. We know who the main characters are at this point, but at the same time, the game is still very fun to figure out where we're going, what we're doing, how this is going to take the overall story forward for Final Fantasy as a franchise. So this was definitely a great addition to that series. And I gave this one of the higher scores. I gave the storyline and plot a 9. As far as character development, I thought that was really good on here as well. Again, these are just the regular characters that you normally have in every Final Fantasy game, and they did have a sprinkled in a few extras. This character development on the side characters wasn't as deep as maybe the main characters, so I did give that a score of an 8. Now, as far as the animation, art, fight style, things like that, that's where this game ranks the highest. When you play a Final Fantasy game, you know you're going to get visually stunning graphics. You know you're going to get great fight scenes. You know that everything's going to be very fluid. So that earned a really high score of a 9.5. As far as the soundtrack and sound design, Final Fantasy always hits the mark with those. It was definitely a lot of great music scores during the different scenes. There's not a whole lot of silence in the things that you're doing when you're walking around, so that's also great. So with that, I did give it an 8.5. Where this ranked low for me was pacing. I gave pacing a straight up 5 because there are numerous points where you have to play this game called Queen's Blood, which is basically a strategic card game that they teach you how to play, and that's all fine and well. But you get to around chapter, I want to say 5 or 6, and it's a whole fucking chapter on just Queen's Blood. And I'm talking about this thing takes 3 to 4 hours just to complete. And then you have to play it again throughout the rest of the game in different sections to progress the story. Now, this would have been cool as a side mission for those people who enjoy it because I could really see some people really enjoying Queen's Blood, but I'm just not one of those people. It was not for me. It was very forced, in my opinion, and I legitimately hated it. I played one time on the stream, hopped on, and that just so happened to be the chapter that I was on stream. It was boring. So, themes and messages, that one also gave kind of a mid mark. I gave it a 5. There weren't a whole lot of takeaways from this game, big important messages. It really wasn't something that was supposed to move you. It's really they focus on their story and that's what they stick with. And they're really good at that. But again, this isn't something that you're just gonna have takeaways. So the themes and messages I gave a 5. As far as gameplay, with everything that I said taken into account from how fluid the game is, how the graphics and all that, it's just that Queen's Blood being so forced and so much a part of the game that was just so unenjoyable that I almost didn't even finish the game. That is why I gave the gameplay a 7. So overall, when you add it all together, I gave Final Fantasy VII Rebirth an 8.2, which is a really good score, despite, like I said, I had big problems with the Queen's Blood tournaments. But other than that, it's a game that you want to get to the end. You want to see what's going on. And the ending is so satisfying, just how huge things get. I don't want to give any spoilers, but it was a truly amazing ending for a Final Fantasy game. The boss fight was one of the hardest fights I've had in recent memory in video games. So it was definitely challenging. It was definitely fun. The game has a lot of replayability if you're into that type of thing and you want to go back, build different relationships with the players, things of that nature. There's a lot of different things you can keep completing. So it's definitely a game that if you've been interested in, you should check out. And I'll catch you on the next one.